the journey of the soul that does not forget. And if your wounds were maps, and each tear a coordinate leading to your brightest truth, welcome to this sacred descent into the depths of your cosmic lineage. Stellar Prologue, the memory of divine dust. There are memories that do not live in the mind, but in the body. There are pains that do not belong to this life, yet still hurt, as if they happened yesterday. And there are callings that do not understand time or space because they are born from the eternal soul that you are. This is one of those callings. You are not here by mistake. You are not reading these words by chance. You are listening, even if you didn't know it, to the resonance of an echo that has crossed entire dimensions to find you. This message is not new. You truly dreamed it, this profound experience, even before you were born. I am referring to the language of sacred, deeply personal wounds. Each wound you carry is a fractal of your cosmic story, not as punishment, but as revelation. From the ancient temples of Sirius to the hidden realms of Mu, every pain that weighs on you today was, in its origin, a choice for expansion. In transpersonal psychology, we understand that pain is not an enemy, but a teacher. It is the voice that cannot lie. It is the alchemy that forces us to let go of the persona in order to remember the self. The Arcturians teach this with a symbol, a crystal split in two that continues to shine from every crack. They remind us that there is no trauma that does not hide a dimensional doorway. Everything you thought you had to forget is what you came here to remember. Sekun, the solar child that dwells within you. There is a child who was never tamed by the system. A child who still talks to the trees, who still knows the names of the animals, who still sings with the memory of the stars. That child is not lost. He is waiting for you to come back for him. In quantum family constellations, we understand that many adult decisions come from unresolved childhood pain, over-demanding self-sabotage, rejection of deserving, seeking love in the wrong places. All of that is born from the wounded child and is healed with one gesture: recognition. You cannot evolve if you do not first kneel lovingly before that little being who still cries within you. Tell him, I wasn't there when you needed me, but now I'm coming back for you. 3. Karmic mirrors. Relationships that awaken or replicate pain. Every soul that comes into your life does so with a sacred purpose, even and especially those who have hurt you the most. In quantum NLP, we know that the subconscious chooses relationships either to perpetuate patterns or to heal them. That's why stories repeat themselves until you decide to break the collective hypnosis of the wounded soul. Who was your most difficult mirror? That person came to show you the edge where fear ends and your sovereignty begins. You are not a victim of anyone. You are a co-creator of scenarios that challenge your vibration to invite you to evolve. When you truly forgive, you become free. Body the temple of your galactic DNA. Your DNA doesn't just contain biological information. It's a multi-dimensional hard drive that stores memories from other planets, forgotten civilizations, soul contracts, sacred geometry codes, and agreements with lineages of light. DNA activation is not just a spiritual technique, it's an act of remembering who you were before you incarnated. The Pleiadians explain that within each double helix there are gateways to parallel lives, that in your blood there are entire constellations waiting to be recognized. Quantum science is just beginning to touch upon what the ancient sages already knew. Reality bends before your inner vibration. That's why when you raise your frequency, you rewrite your destiny. B. The shadow is not the enemy, it is the teacher of the light. Many times you think you have to heal, cleanse, purify yourself, eliminate the negative. But who defined what is negative? The shadow you repress becomes your jailer. The shadow you integrate transforms into your ally. From the perspective of emotional biodecoding, we understand that the physical symptom is the language the soul uses when it has been silent for too long. The body is the final messenger. A sore throat might be a scream that went unexpressed 20 years ago. Back pain could be the emotional burden of your mother that you still haven't let go of. Liberation begins when you listen without judgment and tell yourself, everything in me has a purpose, nothing is superfluous, everything was sacred. Yes, the light codes that belong to you. You are the bearer of a unique geometry, a network of symbols, vibrations, and patterns that no other being has ever had or ever will have. You are unrepeatable. Your voice has a code, your gaze has a code, your vibration has a code that can activate thousands, but only if you dare to be yourself. That is why the Ascended Masters repeat. Your authenticity is the beacon that guides others to their awakening. Do not imitate. Do not diminish yourself. Do not edit your essence to fit into a mold that was designed for the asleep. Bring out your voice, your art, your message, your story, your transmuted wound, because your path is medicine for someone else. Seifi, the oldest memory, your sacred name. There is a name that was not given to you by your parents, a name that resonates in forgotten languages, in the halls of Andromeda, in the gardens of Antares, in the ethereal mountains of Lyra. That name is encoded in your soul frequency. When you hear it, something inside you awakens, not because it is magical, but because it recognizes you. The councils of light use it to call you when you dream. It is the password of your soul, and when you say it out loud, you remember. Bezo, the legacy of the soul that remembered everything you lived, everything you lost, everything you thought destroyed you, was actually building you. You were prepared for this moment to be a channel, to be a healer, to be a voice, to be a walking temple of ancient wisdom in the chaos of the new world. You are no longer the wound, you are the balm. You are no longer the one who asks for permission. You are the one who remembers that divinity dwells in your chest. You are no longer the one who searches outside. You are the one who ignites your inner sun and lets it shine without fear. Epilogue, a promise between lives. If you made it this far, you already know. You are not who you thought you were. You never were. You are an architect of awakening, a conscious particle of the whole, walking the earth to sow light in the cracks. This is not the end. It is only the beginning of your true story, the one you write with every act of love, with every embrace of the past, with every step you take toward your own greatness. We will meet again in the crystal temples, in the floating cities, in the songs of the soul that is reborn. Until then, be the living memory of who you are, the soul that travels through worlds. And if the nostalgia you feel is not for what you lost, but for what you have yet to remember, welcome to this journey between dimensions, where your soul begins to recall its other faces. Multi-dimensional prologue, the sigh that comes from another land. Not all the tears you shed belong to this life. Not all the voices you hear come from this reality. Not all the loves you feel began in this incarnation. There is something in you that belongs to another place, a fragment of consciousness that travels between worlds, crossing veils and existences, gathering pieces of a stellar puzzle that only you know how to assemble. You are a weaver of dimensions, and this is your time to remember. I, the cosmic rift of birth. To incarnate on earth is a violent initiation. We are not only born from the maternal womb, but we are also torn from a higher luminous matrix. We forget with our first breath who we were as souls. Warriors of Orion, healers of Lemuria, librarians of the Alcyon galaxy, explorers of interdimensional consciousness. Biodecoding reveals to us that many birth traumas are not only physical. They are fractures of the soul that is still trying to understand why it chose to forget its vastness. Your body hurt when you were born, but your soul hurt as well. Gondo. The others, the yous that continue living in every choice you make, a new timeline is born, and you, as a quantum being, exist in all of them. In one dimension, you became a healing musician. In another, you founded a spiritual community in the mountains. In yet another, you still live among the stars, observing this life as a dense dream that challenges you to remember. From the Arcturian perspective, the self is not singular. It is a symphony of conscious fractals. You are multidimensional. That's why you sometimes feel nostalgia without a cause. That's why you dream of places you've never visited, because part of you is still there. 13. The sacred void that follows you. Have you ever felt that unexplainable emptiness? That inner silence that can't be filled with love, achievements, or intellectual answers? That is the primordial void. The Pleiadians call it the call to return. It is the memory of what you were before time. It is the echo of your unity with the source, of the formless dance, of the consciousness that was everything. And even though you can't return there yet, you can bring that state into the now. Every time you choose with love, every time you meditate without seeking anything, every time you contemplate the mystery without needing to understand it, you are remembering. Body, souls that meet again. You and I have already met. And this is not just a poetic phrase, it's an energetic truth. In quantum constellations, it is understood that the soul has agreements that transcend incarnations. and that when you see someone and something is activated, it's not chemistry, it's memory. Memory of another life, another body, another name. Maybe you were mother and daughter in Atlantis. Maybe you were lovers in Egypt. Maybe you were enemies who now seek forgiveness. Nothing is by chance. The key people in your current life were part of your journey many times before. B. The galactic night of the soul. There comes a moment in every advanced soul's journey when the universe seems to shut down. Nothing flows. Everything becomes heavy. Guidance disappears. You feel alone, abandoned even by your guides. This is called the galactic night of the soul. It is the pause before the leap, the silence of the cosmos that forces you to look within, the disconnection that is actually a reconfiguration. During that night, your stellar DNA is reorganized. Your ego resists, your shadow emerges strongly, but it is precisely there where the true you is reborn. Go through that night without fear. It is not punishment, it is initiation. Vi, the codes that protect you. Even if you can't see them, you carry tattoos of light, sacred geometries in your auric field, stellar seals in your chakras, frequency passwords in your cells. These codes were activated in galactic temples before your descent. They are programmed to switch on at certain moments. A song, a word, a glance, a crisis, a channeled message. Your soul did not come unprotected. It came equipped with spiritual technology that your ego still cannot understand, but your heart can. CT, the masters who walk unseen. In every corner of the world, there are stellar masters incarnated as ordinary beings. A woman who paints without knowing she is channeling blueprints from Lyra. A man who plays the violin, activating memories from the Sun Temple of Orion. A grandmother who cleans houses while holding the energetic anchor for an entire city. You could be one of them, and you don't need external recognition. The true master does not teach with speeches, but with vibration. When you raise your field, the world changes around you. 8. The bridge of light to your original self. You did not come to become something. You came to remember what you already are. The ego wants to transform. The soul only wants to be set free. That's why structures hurt you. That's why you don't fit into routine. That's why you break when you try to be normal. Because your essence is not of this world. It's time to build the bridge from mind to heart, from programming to being, from forgetting to remembering. That bridge is your presence, and crossing it is coming home. Epilogue. The return of the star traveler. You are a traveling soul. You have traveled through galaxies, extinct worlds, civilizations that now only live in your intuition. You have been a sage, a beggar, a healer, a warrior, a mother, a priest, a child, and an elder. You have tasted all the flavors of the soul, and now you return to yourself. Your mission is not to escape the world. Your mission is to bring to the world the vibration of the places that still live within you. If you ever felt broken, it was only because you had forgotten how many times you broke in order to love again. Now is your moment, now is your reunion, now is your eternity walking on earth. The journey of ancestral silence. And what if everything you left unsaid in other lives is now asking to be born in your words today? Welcome to the path of forgotten echoes, where the soul awakens its most sacred memories. Prologue. When the soul whispers and the mind falls silent, there is a kind of silence that is not absence but a portal. A silence so deep it holds ancient hymns, lost prayers, promises made among the stars. You know it. You have felt it when you cried without knowing why. When you looked at the sky with a nameless longing. When you closed your eyes and heard a call that did not come from here. That silence is your origin, and this channeling is its voice. The memory that beats in your bones. Before you were human, you were a symbol. You were sound. You were dancing energy in the arms of the source. Lemurian wisdom teaches that our cells remember. Each bone is a tablet where your galactic story was written. Each vertebra holds a pact. Each tear a sacred fracture. Your spine not only supports you, it translates you. That's why it hurts when you betray your path. That's why you get sick when you deny your truth. Illness is the soul screaming from within the body's silence. Return to yourself. Listen, time does not heal. Consciousness does. You've heard many times that time heals everything, but it's not true. Time doesn't heal, time numbs. It's consciousness that sets you free. When you look at a painful event with new eyes, you activate a quantum reprogramming. That is Soul NLP, not only giving new meaning to your memories, but also to your biological reactions to them. You no longer need to keep running away. You just need to shine the flashlight of presence on what hurt and let love work its alchemy.